Hello guys, so this is a full and complete analysis on major currency pairs, indices, Bitcoin and gold. So just stay back as I explain to you. This video it might probably be a little bit lengthy because I really want to explain to you as what I'm currently seeing in the market. 2 or 3 days ago, I had earlier dropped chart insights, but as the market moves, starts movement, so we have a little change of bias. That is why I've come on here to update this so we can have our look for the rest of January. So stay back as I start the analysis. And also, if you are here to subscribe to this channel, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Watch, like this video as you are enjoying it. You can as well share it to your loved one as well, so they can also learn 1 or 2 things from this video. So let's just get started. So I start from GBP USD. Yeah, these are the pair I'm going to be analyzing. We have the major pair, commodity indices and cryptos. So I'm a swing trader. This is not much for me. If I'm a day trader, you might probably say this is much, but as a swing trader, this is still very okay. Okay, so let's start usually from the higher time frame so we can really understand what we want to do. So on these 3 month charts, we have price that have been in a downtrend for a very long time. Price has been in a downtrend, and also if we pay attention to what price is currently doing, we will see that price has hold up. Price has hold up. And another thing we need to understand is that it is not every time the market is going to be trending. We would have a trend, consolidation, trend, consolidation. Look at it here. We have a massive drop to the downside. The price went sideways. After that, another massive drop. Now price is also going sideways before we can have another massive drop to the downside. So this is the information we have on the 3 month chart. Price is telling us that the market is bearish, but on a short-term base, the market is in a range. So for every time we tested a resistance, price will definitely come back to support, go back to resistance, we come back to support. Now this support is still holding price, and this is currently looking like price is going to test this level above. So with this now, we can see that on a short-term base, price is looking like a buy, but long-term, the market is trending. So we can still look for opportunity to capitalize on a buy movement at this region before we get to this major zone right here. So then we have to narrow things down into lower time frame to see how candlesticks are actually reacting before we take our decision. So next we move down to the monthly time frame to see our levels properly well. If there is need for any adjustment, I've made this, but this is just how I look at the market. Things are okay here. And on the monthly time frame, I can see that the market is now pushing in an upward direction. So you will see right from this point that ever since price make contact with this support, we've been having that series of price movements to the upside. This is highs being created, lows created, highs created, low created. We are expecting another continuation of high, which might probably lead us to this major resistance. So that is currently what I'm seeing. Then to see that better, we can go down to our weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, it is where I mark this light blue bar for my minor zone. So we can see how price has previously respected this level, and then we can see how price is currently reacting to this same level. Previously, what I had spotted, because initially I have a short bias on GBP USD, and that was because of this that I saw. We break out of this minor resistance, price was closing back inside. So this is giving me a double top pattern, which is a reversal chart pattern. So I was expecting market to retrace back to this level so price can drop. But the way it looks now, looks like the buyers are still very much active in this market. So price has been able to break above this level, and we can see it is retesting. Now I'm now looking at things from a different lens. I can now spot another chart pattern, which is the invert head and shoulder pattern currently forming. Now this is yet to fully form, but that is what I'm currently seeing. It is from this right shoulder I'm expecting price to catapult to the next high. For a continuation pattern, I teach this in my trading course, that you can make entry right from the right shoulder. But when it comes to the case of reversing the market, you may probably want to wait for the neckline break, retest, and all of that. But from here, I'm looking for a buy entry on GBP USD. Then if I narrow down to the day chart to see how candlesticks are reacting at this level, so we've been able to see a simple concept of break and retest from this. So price has been able to break above this resistance, and now we retested this. With retesting this zone, price retested it with even a continuation pattern. This is a falling wedge pattern. For those that have been watching my video far back, you will notice that I'm a lover of chart patterns. It is part of my key trading concept. So this is a falling wedge, which is an indication that the uptrend will still continue. And now we've had a break above. We've had a break above, price rejected. So if we now go to 4-hour time frame to see what is currently happening, so you will now note that we are currently having a retest of that broken level. So price flag or wedge, then we have a breakout. So this is a retest. This is a retest. So what I'm currently waiting for now is for price to retrace down to this level, and then I can pick my buy entry for a buy trade. How I'm going to be planning to enter this trade is that I will go lower to 1-hour time frame, then mark out my counter trend line for entry. So I have my counter trend line like this. Now if price is able to break above my counter trend line, that signals to me that the momentum is back into the market, and then I can go long on GBP USD. So that is currently my bias on GBP USD. I'm going to be looking to target the recent high for my first level. This is going to be my first level target, that is approximately ratio 3, but overall I'm looking for this nearest resistance level, so a ratio 8 in view. So this is how I'm going to be entry trades on GBP USD. So let's move very quickly to the next pair. I can see that you are really learning from this. So if you find this educating, make sure to like this video, subscribe as well if you haven't done so. Now let's look at the Euro USD charts. So Euro USD is, of course, correlated with GBP USD. Most likely, what is happening on GBP USD is most likely going to happen to Euro USD. So this as well, price has been trending to the downside, and same information we've been seeing that price has been moving in a range. We have been bouncing between support and resistance. So what we even have here was a confirmation of a double bottom pattern that we are expecting to lead us to this top. If you pay attention to the 3-month chart and look at the previous 3 candles that have formed there, you will see that the sellers tried to bring the market down, but buyers were still strong to keep that point. That is why we have been having weak rejection from that low. So this is telling us that power still belongs to the buyers in the market. Now, this is looking to us that market is still having that control to push to this next resistance. So the question now is, how are we going to be picking entry from where price is currently to where we are moving to next? So to do that, we have to scale down to lower time frame to see how candlesticks are reacting. So first, I go down to the 1-month chart to look at my levels if there needs to be adjusted. This has been adjusted just as I've said, so this is currently okay for me now. So the next thing we do is that we move down to the weekly charts. So moving down to the weekly chart, we'll notice that Euro USD is in a range. Euro USD is trading in a range. This is not so clear like what we have on GBP USD. But now that we are in a range, what should we do? The best thing to do is to stay out of the market. Day traders might take opportunity within this range because, of course, this is still a decent pips to catch. But for swing trader, only if price is at the low or at the bottom of this range, that is when we may want to look to take opportunity. But now you will see that price is already trading in the middle and we are almost at the nearest resistance. So that is not advisable to trade. And another thing that I'm seeing inside of this range is that price is creating similar chart pattern as that of GBP USD. So this is also creating like an inverse head and shoulder, which this resistance point is holding as the neckline. Yes, early entry should have been taken right from here, but now since we have missed that, price is already trading at the middle. The best thing to do is to wait for price to break out of this resistance, which now is going to be acting as a neckline, price to retest, and then we'll be looking to go long. Simple as this on Euro USD. So even if I scale more lower to a more lower time frame to see how candlesticks are reacting, we will also see similar wedge pattern formed on this. This already broke out, and now this is really even moving far beyond than that of GBP USD. The only reason why we may want to even take opportunity of this market, it is when we have price coming lower. If price retrace down, but I will prefer the entry on GBP USD. If I will be trading this, I would want maybe if price can drop more lower before going up, or if price starts pushing up from where we are currently and we push up, the best thing is to wait for a retracement here, then continuation next. That is if price fails to pull back and we just keep heading to the upside. So this is my full and complete analysis on Euro USD. I am bullish on Euro USD. Then the next pair we have AUD USD. So keep enjoying as I'm explaining this to you. So AUD USD, also starting the analysis from the 3-month chart, I always love to look things at a bigger scale so I can know that I'm actually trading in the direction of the trend. Also, same thing here now. One thing you will notice is that most of these pairs are trending to the downside, but currently they've been in a range. Why are they moving the same way? That is the power of currency correlation. So this also price has rejected aggressively from this support level, and it's looking like we are going to visit this technical level of resistance. We can even see the buying candlestick so strong, which is still telling us that buyers are very much in control of the market. So next I move down to the 1 month chart to see things very more clearly. So we can see that price has been able to trade above this minor resistance. We're going to see that well on the weekly chart. You can see price has been able to trade above this resistance. So now price trading above that resistance, we have a little bit of pause. Now price is pushing up. For those who trade the supply and demand concept, they call this rally based rally. So price is already showing a strong momentum that we are about to push to the upside. So how do we get an entry from this point to this major level? So we scale down to the day chart to look for opportunity. Now price has break out of a micro resistance. Initially this was showing an head and shoulder pattern. So this head and shoulder pattern, my previous episode on Chart Insight, I was expecting that if we did have a break below this level, this will confirm a trend reversal. But now price has been able to invalidate the this pattern. So how do I know this? I explain all of this in my trading course. If you want to get that, you may reach out to me. So price has been able to invalidate this. If we just have a retest here, then we expect the market to continue moving to the upside. So that is just what we have here. Head and shoulder is no longer valid. So let's scale things down to more lower time frame to see how candlesticks are printing out information for us. So price has been able to break out of this level. So a simple break and retest. One thing about the concept of support and resistance is that you trade two things. Number one is rejection from a zone, and number two is if that zone is broken, you simply wait for price to retest and then you trade the continuation of that market direction. So on the 1 hour time frame, we've had price, you see, a little bit of range. So I want price to come down to this level and I'll be looking for a continuation buying movement. So that is what I have as well on AUD USD. So let's move to the next pair. The next pair is NZD USD. You can see the three pairs we've looked at are all showing us the bullish movement. NZD USD price is rejecting from these supports for a very long time. Price has not been having that more control from the sellers. We're supposed to have put a lower low, but the buyers are very strong at this bottom, so they are still holding price. And this is still telling us that markets, this is still telling us that market is looking like we want to push back. So we are trading also within this support and resistance. So look like price also want to rise to the top. So now to see things more clearer, let's just go straight to the 1 week chart. Now on the 1 week chart, I have two minor levels. a support and a resistance. So price was trading below the support, which I was expecting a retest of this support that will now turn to resistance so that price can continue its downward movement. But now, since that is not happening, price push up, retrace, and find buying pressure from here. We can see this bullish engulfing bar telling us so much that the buyers are very strong in the market. So this is what we currently have on NZD USD. We cannot place a buy trade yet. Why? Because price is very much closer to a resistance level. So taking a buy trade is not ideal for us. We need price to fully clear the resistance before we can look for our trade entry to the upward direction. So let me just narrow things down to the day chart. These don't need so much to do. And if we notice something, that most of these that I've been looking at now are showing the same chart pattern, which is the wedge pattern. So we have a breakout of this wedge and prices aggressively pushing to the upside. So we are closer to this resistance. Buying now is not okay. So we need to wait for price to break up to give us a higher high, then a higher low, and we can look for a trend continuation to continue. So bullish also on NZD USD. Now we have USD Canada. So USD Canada on the 3-month chart. Let's see how things looks like. This is USD CAD on the 3-month chart. The 3-month chart says bullish, but also we are stuck within a range. But this range is a very big one, which we can not just stay out of the market. Price has been rejecting from this resistance, and whenever we reject from this resistance, we always find ourselves back at this support level. Now price rejected from here, are we going to come all the way down? This is questions we need to answer, and lower time frame will help us to actually see things more clearer. So with this now, we are now going to scale lower down to the weekly chart. So scaling down to the weekly chart, we want to see how candlesticks are printing, the structures of the market. So ever since we made contact with this major resistance, price trend downward, which closes below a minor resistance level. Price pushes back to give us a lower high on the lower time frame, and here we are expecting another massive drop to give us a lower low on this higher time frame. So this is already showing us a bearish movement. So we just need to look for where to enter our trade. So for price that have been trading below this level, we traded above, we came back inside, price went back there to retest this level, and now price is looking like it's ready to drop now. So we can look for our short opportunity on USD CAD by going lower to a more lower time frame. So here we can see a simple break and retest, and we can look for a sell opportunity. So from here we have a pattern of the double top pattern, which signals a trend continuation in the bearish direction. So to enter this, I'll go to the 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to, this is how I will enter this trade. I'm going to mark a minor level right here, waiting for price to simply come and retest this level. So I'll wait for price to retest this level, and I'll be looking to go short. This is going to be my first level target, and this is going to be my second level target. So this is how I'll be positioning myself on USD CAD for the rest of the month of January. So USD CAD, I'm bearish.